We're live, everybody. We are live in the building. Let's go to some intro video. Cue the video.
Live studio audience.
Yes. Let's go. What's up, bro?
We
got a podcast in the metaverse, bro.
yeah. Who knew that this is what it was all building up to through the entire first season? And now we are here kicking off season 2 with all of you guys, a live studio audience.
Let's go. Every Tuesday.
A podcast. We didn't even know what was happening. We were 15 episodes into this.
It seems to be helping and impacting a lot of people. We'll see you every Tuesday on the Well Metaverse podcast. Peace.
Easy. I don't know why I chuck deuces. Like I don't chuck deuces. What was that?
All to the what's happening? Clearly, the man behind the controllers. Normally, so as you can see, right now I'm flying solo. My man Aaron is handling some metaverse business. And so so you got me today. And of course, we got somebody special who's lingering around in the background, not trying to come out right now. But we're gonna bring her out soon. What's happening? Brian Pearson, my man, the Bow Top Boys, the creator. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, brother. Sturm, what's happening, brother? How are we doing? We are doing fantastic. Sandstorms, Cody is in the building. Good stuff. So man, today is a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on in my life. Quite sure, of course, in Aaron's life. In the metaverse, Alma Jean is in the building. So listen, of course, my man Aaron is highly influential in the metaverse. And but we got a substitute for Aaron today. Let me tell you something. So I only know of, and Lolly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've only seen 3 people on a national platform in terms of media, in the national news, talking about the metaverse. When you look at just everything that's going on, there's, the big time networks have highlighted 3, let's say 4 people. Of course, Mark Zuckerberg being one. And in the same conversation with Mark Zuckerberg, you have our Aaron, the unemployed alcoholic. And then you got these other 2 people who are actually a couple. And this is our guest today. I'm so encouraged by, he and his wife are like metaverse professionals. You want to know what's going on, what's the latest, greatest technology out there with the metaverse, you need to hit these folks up. And probably one of the most encouraging dudes in the metaverse as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage my man, Jay Dunn.
Yo, man, what's good, man? You can't be giving me them type of, accolades, But, praise the Lord, man. Just happy to be here, back with the fam at the Well Metaverse podcast. You know how we get down, man.
Yes, sir.
Look, I'm jumping out of one meeting. I was like, I had to run from a meeting and get in this meeting because I knew how important it was to just chill with you and talk with you, man. It's a blessing to see you, man. And of course, I can't get on here without shouting out my gorgeous, amazing, incredible wife, who I am partnered with everything we're doing with getting things done, get them to the metaverse, join the morning, and all the other things we're doing. Yeah, when you see me, you see her. So hey, baby.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Let's go. What's hilarious is this. Stern says, by the way, Jay enjoyed interview on
Okay,
Yeah,
we got to
there
see.
you
I got to
go.
link. I got to link that to our YouTube channel because we really enjoyed that talk. That was a really good time at the Soapstone, and I was like, man, I wish someone recorded this thing because it was really, really good. So thank
Yeah.
y'all. I'm so excited. We're gonna be putting it on our page as soon as we get off of here, for sure.
In fact, yeah. So Lolly D, who's the co-host of Good
Amazing
Morning
co-host.
Soapstone.
Yes.
What everybody, what y'all can't see in the background, of course, Lolly is our producer, so she's in the back. When you started saying, "Hey, I want to shout out the gorgeous," Lolly started getting herself ready.
Come on. She is
he's like,
gorgeous.
he's talking about his
She
wife.
is gorgeous. We love it. What's up, Lolly? We appreciate all that you do for sure. Absolutely. But come on, I gotta shout out the wife first. Nah, come on.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
understand,
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Yeah. All right. So if you want to see that episode, Sturm says just search Good Morning Soapstone on YouTube and you will find it. It's
Sounds
the most
good.
recent video. Bro. So it's always good to see you. Much love to you, man.
Yes, sir.
You, brother. I appreciate you so much. You enjoy it. It's always encouraging, man.
Yes, sir.
Dude, here's what's amazing. Again, it's like you and Mark Zuckerberg think on the same plane, bro. It's like
What are you talking about? Me and Zuck are smoking meats right in the back of the right now. Sweet baby Ray is right there. Oh, did I freeze? Look like
yeah,
I
you froze, brother.
Uh-oh. Okay, let
Right.
me see. There we go. But yeah, the Sweet baby Ray is sitting right there, man. We ready to go. You know what I'm saying? All we missing is you, Jason. We just need you to come through with some jokes, and we're gonna be good to go.
Cause everybody, I think a lot of people were almost concerned, like, okay, we got the Meta Quest, we got the Quest,
Mm-hmm.
and here comes this Vision Pro.
Uh-oh.
And then so I saw you get one, and then right after your video dropped, Mark Zuckerberg came out. I was like, them dudes thinking on the same plane, bro.
Come on. Look, man, me and Zuck are besties, man. Yeah, my Vision Pro is actually sitting over there in the corner, man. Man, I don't even want to start on the Vision Pro. We could talk about it, but it's crazy. We could talk about it, but man, it's just so it's two different paradigms we're dealing with. You're dealing with, what is the next level of this paradigm shift with the metaverse, with these headsets. I agree with Zuck just about on every point he said. Even with someone who's still happy with the Vision Pro. I just think the main thing we have to settle on, and this is I think the most important thing, is the validation that Apple brings to any space when it steps into it. So if we just take just that part, forget any of the price point, don't forget about feature sets between the two. If we just say, what is the main ingredient here? Is the validation that Apple has brought. So now, me and you, we superstars now, because it's like we've been talking about this forever. So all the family members are calling us going, "Wait, y'all saw this Vision Pro? We've been telling y'all about the metaverse. We've been telling y'all about VR. So this is just on a new platform for sure." So good, man. So good. Yes, sir. Dude, but how are you, man? You always interviewing people and talk. How are you today? What's going on in your life today? Dude, it's funny that you ask. First of all, man, shout out to my amazing wife. Come on. Man, I can't, you asked me that, and dude, I mess around, start getting emotional, man, as I think about just how God has blessed. Come on. My family. And think about, I just thought about this. So my daughter is my third child is in South Africa. Wow. This is Jay. I got 6 kids. 4 of them are 16 and up. My 4 oldest kids all have done international mission work, bro. Wow, that is insane. Dude, what are sound effects there, Lolly? What are sound effects? We need sound effects. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. I was thinking last night, it got a little overwhelming. Like, man, so you give your kids to God, and it's like, okay, Lord, I realize
my children are a gift from you.
Yeah.
And I know you want me to raise them in a way that they learn to love you with all their heart, soul, and strength, that they love their neighbor as themselves. And man, giving them back. And so that's happened. Then, last night, my oldest daughter, who's a beast of a leader, and she went to this ministry event last night. And as I was in the bed, dude, 11:30 at night, she called me like, "Hey, my car ran hot. I'm on the interstate."
Come on.
So it's like all the dad dudes. But then, so my wife and I had a great morning. She just left the office, and man, just celebrating the fact that today, man, a podcast came out with me and Candace Cameron Burr, DJ from Full House.
Yeah.
So that's just, man, that's
Wow.
pretty cool. And just,
Yeah.
somebody at that, I mean, you all experience this, but when somebody at a high level in a certain space begins to, just somehow see what you're doing and then invites you into that space, it's humbling, bro.
We got a scripture for that, right? We got your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men, right? And this is something I've been harping on a lot, man. I'm so glad you said that. Me and Joy, we've been very intentional this year on our goals and our vision. And one thing I've leaned into, and I don't have the actual scripture, but it was a story, not a story, but more about being invited in. Don't be the person that comes in the door saying, "I'm the great one," sit me in front and then be told to sit in the back. No, sit in the back and be brought forth. Right.
Yeah.
And so recently my bishop, even when we was in service the other day, he was like, you know what? Sometimes it's best for you to just sit back and applaud everybody else. And when it's your time, when he will clear the way. He will open up doors that no man can close. He will make rivers in the desert. And so people say this. I'm so glad you said that. You don't set me up. You don't set me up.
Come on, sir.
People say to us, man, how did y'all get on the Today Show? How did y'all get on the news? And I was like, God, because there's no difference in the content we was producing than anybody else. This lady saw one reel that had maybe 100 views on it. It wasn't the most viral thing we had ever done, but for some reason, when she typed in the word metaverse, she found us. And she just kept finding us, and that led her to want to talk to us about being on the show. And so I tell people all the time, that wasn't a us thing. That was a God thing. That was a favor thing, and favor isn't fair. And so, man, you are walking in favor. Those who are tuning in, look, I want to encourage you to lean into that favor, whatever your belief system is. We're not trying to push our objectives on you, but I can't help but be enlightened and be excited about another brother sharing what God is doing for him. So anyway, all right.
It's funny you say that because, man, I flew out to LA and man, went to Candace's studio, her office, her headquarters. And dude, man, I walk in the room and I'm seeing people that I grew up watching on TV.
Come on.
And I'm seeing all these folks. And what's crazy, I told my wife this. She said, so, how was it? And I was like, you know what the crazy thing is? I felt like I was amongst my friends. It's almost like, you can talk about the metaverse to other people.
Come on.
Outside, but then when you put on those goggles, that headset, and you go into the metaverse and you meeting with all your familiar metaverse people, and you're like, yeah, this is home.
Yeah.
That's how I felt like in that studio. In fact, one person who I see on TV, and I don't want to name drop, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah. But I'm laughing with the previous guest. One of the previous guests, she come out the deal from being interviewed by Candace, and we're laughing like we high school best friends.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing. I turn around, and one of those folks that I see all the time on TV was right here, and I was just surprised, right, to see him. And I was like, "Hey, what's happening? I didn't know you were gonna be here."
Yeah.
and then she responded. She did this. I know this look. You might know this look too. You know the look you get when somebody jubilantly gives you a welcome.
Yeah.
You don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But you're like, I'm supposed to know you.
I'm supposed to know you. Yes.
That's how she looked at me. You could tell, because I do this. I'm like, yo, where do I know you from? I'm supposed to know you.
Come on.
And then she came in and gave me a hug. It was so funny. And because it was like, yeah, it was as if I was amongst my tribe, like I was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And that was.
But can I say something to you? You were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You know, we get into this, man. Look, you didn't bring me on here to preach, did you, bro? Because you be playing with me. But no, like we get into this, and I think I even said this at Good Morning Soulstone. Like we get into this humbleness of, I'll come before you all humbly, and God, I'm gonna submit yourself to the Lord all day long. But you gotta believe that God has invested something in you, that you've been saturated and been building up to this point in your life where you can walk into these rooms and feel like you belong there. I want you to stop going into rooms imagining and telling yourself you don't belong there. That is a mockery against God. I want to just put that there to you. You are a son. We are all sons and daughters of God. You belong in every room that you can walk in. Everywhere your foot tread is your room. Okay, so we have to get out of that mindset. I got to do it too. I'm guilty too. Yeah. I walked on campuses. We got a chance to go to Connect. I'm at Meta Connect, walking the streets, and I'm like, do I belong here? And enough people walked up to me and said, absolutely you do. So you put in the work, so you deserve to be there, man. And that's all it is. That's all it is to it.
So man, I actually want to show a clip, because this is going on online right now. Because what's great is, I had a friend to tell me this years ago. I was in seminary actually, and I had just started doing comedy. And my Patrick Thomas, he said, bro, he said, Jason, people gonna start inviting you places to do comedy.
Yeah.
And when you go, don't do anything different. Don't change up who you are, because it's you being who you are that caused them to invite you. And if you try to do something different, like you're switching up, and that's not who they invited. They invited the authentic you. And it was cool just to be able to like be on that platform and encourage, like you enjoy do, man, to encourage families, marriages in particular, to keep the main thing. A lot of times in the busyness of life, we get so busy that we oftentimes can begin to neglect the cultivating of the wife of our youth.
Yes.
And so, man, just making sure, like, regardless of how long you've been married, making sure that you consistently having those resets. That's actually the name of that season of podcast. So,
oh man, love it.
I'm gonna go to this video. I hope this is the right one. Let's see.
What happened, especially as I started doing comedy in primarily churches, even what Terry and I see all the time is marriages that suffer because they don't keep the priority of family in the right alignment. In other words, it's mom and dad's relationship needs to make sure it's cultivated before the children.
Yeah.
It's because we've looked up and we're like, you know what? We've been going to football games, basketball games, soccer games, all these times, and we haven't spent any time with each other.
Yeah.
Our lives have been revolved around who's going to pick up the kids, who's going to, who's got snack duty.
Right.
And, especially having multiple children, 6.
Yeah.
Candace, we had 2 in soccer, 2 in football, 4 different teams, and everybody made the playoffs.
Wow.
I was praying that they lost. I was like, Lord, let them lose in the name of Jesus. Victory is yours. Keep it to yourself today.
crazy. I love it. But that was
Yeah,
nothing but
dude.
truth. Nothing but truth right there.
Yeah, man.
Nothing
Because
but truth.
I found, especially now as a pastor, it's my wife and I, we had to do a reset. Like, hey, you know what? It's a busy season
Yeah.
of ministry. Like this happened, but it's now 2 weeks and we hadn't done our consistent date. And then sometimes I can be like, I know we're busy, but I ain't forgot about you.
Absolutely.
But then she's like, yeah. However, I'm making sure that we give each other permission to really speak into that all the time. Like,
Yeah.
just we know we're not neglecting it.
Yeah.
But say something if you see, it in the distance. There's a verse, a prudent man sees evil far off and hides himself. What does prudence look like? So, so last week I had to do a hard reset. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
We going out, we going to the movies. And even, so I don't know if you enjoy finding that.
Man, absolutely. So, shout out to her again. Her birthday is actually tomorrow. And I'm trying to be in advance. I'm always trying to be like, hey, babe, what do you want to do? She's one of those type of people that really is not self-serving. She's not a person that's like, I want this. It's all about me. She's more of a person like she loves to serve others. And so I try my best on her birthdays and around her time to be very intentional. What's up, Bernice? We see you in the building.
Bernice in the building.
Yeah. But no, like I try to be very intentional about how I treat her birthdays to make her feel extremely special. But absolutely, like this week, we're on the ground. We're trying to do a Vision Pro review. We got stuff we're doing with Quest. We got my regular 9-to-5 job, pastoral situations. Like people, like I say, me and you can have these conversations because we like always. There's like 4 jobs we have, and then on top of that, the number one job is being a husband. And so for me, like I had to put a hard stop and say, well, tomorrow is all your day. It's nothing. I don't want to look at an email about work. There's nothing, but you absolutely have to. And we don't even have kids yet. You absolutely have to every day be intentional about that number one. I call it my first ministry. The most important ministry in my life is the love I show towards my wife. And so I was just telling to a brother that had a church meeting earlier. And he was saying, man, I admire the way that you kind of lead from, well, man, let me make sure me and my wife are good before I can make this meeting on Saturday or this meeting on Friday. It's like, I try to be like, look, my church, no, don't hit me up on Friday, okay? It don't matter if me and Joy sitting on the couch watching Netflix or we out or at a restaurant. That's my day that specifically that I set aside for me and my wife. And so we try our best to keep that momentum. And look, the Bible says, don't defraud yourselves one another, except we would be with consent for a certain amount of time.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Because if you don't, that's the entrance of how Satan likes to come into marriages and begin to divide. Everybody wants to say, oh, you're going to step outside your marriage. It's not always stepping outside of, it's stepping outside of what you have committed to one another. It's making sure that you guys are set fast on the love that you have for one another and that foundation, because that foundation, whether you have kids or not, is the thing that's going to lead out, that you're leading out from. So I love that you took that time to reset.
Dude, I love I love that 1 Corinthians 7, bro, because it's like y'all should be doing it.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna stop, it's only for a period of time for fasting and praying.
Yeah.
I said this, my wife and I did a comedy marriage event the other night, and I was like, yo, the problem is some folks ain't doing it, and neither are they fasting and praying. Like,
correct.
Yeah, that's why Bernice said y'all can practice tomorrow. I'm like, why tomorrow? Today. Tomorrow's not promised.
Look, I promise you, there's a bunch of practicing going on. Praise the Lord. That's not the issue for sure.
serve as what do we do with our wives for Valentine's Day? So let me read this question correct. So it's not what did Jay and I do together for Valentine's Day. What do we do with our wives?
Yes. Well, for me, man, I got my wife. She made it clear for me. She's like, you know what, babe? My birthday's, will be this week, but it was like Wednesday of last week was Valentine's Day, and then Wednesday of this week is her birthday. So she's like, look, I understand, you know, you need to go all out. But I'm the type of person, I'm a hopeless romantic. So I'm trying to blow your mind and let it ooze out the left ear, right?
Yeah.
So I got her some flowers. She did a great thing like a steak. She cooked it up for your boy, and we had us a good meal. It was more internal things. You know, I was like, she told me something. I thought she was just gaslighting me, just gassing me up. She said, "Babe, you treat me like every day's Valentine's Day." And I say, you know, I love that. I love that, but I still want to give you an extra bit of sauce today. You know, just a little extra sauce. So if you normally get steak from me, I want you to have steak. And shrimp. I want you to have steak and shrimp. You know, look, you just get a burger from me. I want you to have burger and fry and a shake today.
That's so good.
And so that's what I did. I would love to hear what you guys got a chance to do.
So Valentine's Day is on a Wednesday. So which means that Wednesday is a heavy church day for me and for my wife, because she's a children's director. So man, what I did in the morning was let me shout out Kimberly Ann. What's up, Kimberly Ann? And I just
what's good?
Yeah, absolutely. Better Nate than never. Better Nate than never. Yeah. So what I did was I went out in the morning and I got breakfast tacos from my favorite spot.
Man, that's it.
And I also got them for my daughter. So here's the thing. This is interesting. So with 6 kids, typically, you know, 3 boys, 3 girls. I always want to make sure that I show my daughters love.
Absolutely.
You know, so that they're not looking for it from some dude, looking for some dude to fill a void that their dad didn't give them.
Mm-hmm.
And but I also, you know, even, you know, I show my sons
absolutely
in a sense that same affection, man. Because I think there's a lie that is meant to destroy men and leaders, to say that boys don't need emotion and affection. Men can't cry. Young teenage boys don't need hugs. They don't need a shoulder to lean on. And so what I do, man, is typically on Valentine's Day, like you know, a true player don't need a day to woo his woman.
Sir.
You know?
No, sir.
So yeah, so Valentine's Day is, you know, it's like I recognize the commercialism in it. So I'm like, yo, I'm not going. Typically, I do something special for them, but then I also to let them know, like, hey, I don't need people to tell me that I need to love on y'all.
Absolutely.
So I do something special, and then the next day, I'm like, I'm gonna get y'all all the Valentine's candy y'all want. So I go and get the stuff on sale.
That's it. That's it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's called being smart. That's called being smart. No, this year it was a no candy zone. Normally it used to be every Valentine's Day she get a teddy bear, like some type of like stuffed animal. And this is the thing, I messed up, man. I messed up early. I got a big one early on, and so I had to try to find one bigger and bigger and bigger. And it just got to the point where it's like I can't find nothing bigger than this. You know, so that's another tidbit for people. When you're getting married, you start off small with the gifts and work your way up. My auntie told me that she's been married for almost 50 years. She told me, she said, listen, over 50 years, I actually believe. And she said, listen, if you give her a boat today, and that's year 1, then you go. What you gonna give? What you gonna give it? And she said, "You better work that thing up. Don't give them the boat today, and then she gonna be expecting the boat and something else next year." So, and that's both ways. But I want to go back to something you said about showing affection to men, and this is just an unlocked memory for me. My dad would buy me Valentine's candy. You know, of course he wasn't giving me a card saying you my Valentine, nothing like that. But you know, that was for my mom, that was for my sister, but. For me, he made sure I know what kind of candy you like, son. I want to tell you happy Valentine's Day. I love you. And my dad is a manly man.
Yeah.
And he still was able to show that affection to me even when I was younger. And those are the types of things people don't realize that affects how a man loves out. Seeing how a man look how a man loves you is how a man loves out. All right. So when we look at our young men, we see people, it doesn't matter what race or creed, when they didn't have a father at home who was showing them that love, it's very hard for them to love that out. So I'm thankful for a father who was able to show me affection, who didn't push me away when I got close, who, who didn't make me feel like it was weird for me to cry or to be upset about things. And that allowed me to be a better whole man. And so that's what we want. We want whole men in these situations.
Dude, that's amazing, because your gift of encouragement and your ability to encourage people resonates so loud with me.
Yeah.
Because you and we really have kindred spirits, man, on that. Like,
yeah.
I watch how you encourage people, and I feel like my heart is encouraging people when you encouraging people.
Absolutely.
But because the same spirit.
Yes, sir.
But the thing is, also, what I've learned is typically it's those of us, some of the men who are the greatest encouragers are men who've had other men to love them when they were young.
Absolutely.
Father. And so it's like, so if you had a great relationship with your father, our one dude's like, man, you need to be unleashed to encourage men, because that's something you have. I'm curious to know let me say this too before we switch, because I want to know what Lolly thinks about this Valentine's thing and what we just talked about.
Absolutely.
But one thing I did the other day, man, is I recognized my son is 16 years old, we go to a 6A high school. So 6A, I mean, they got 5,000 kids in their high school. It's huge. They play high level football. It's the best of the best. And my son has been the starting safety for varsity since his sophomore year. He's now for 2 years now. He's been the starting safety. He's a captain on the team, so he's a man's man. He's a boy's boy.
Yeah.
And I recognize him and his intellectual ability. He's a great student athlete. I'm like, but he still needs love from his dad.
Absolutely.
So, man, I do the bro dap with him. But dude, I hug my sons and I kiss them on the cheek, bro.
Absolutely.
And just like I love them. So I walked out the house the other day. It was just he and I who were left at the house. And I walked out the house, put my stuff in the car, was getting in the car, and I was like, yo, I didn't hug my son. I told him bye, but I didn't hug him. And so, man, I ran back in the house. And normally I run back in the house because I forgot something.
Yes, sir.
I ran back in the house, and it's the joke in the family. Whenever I leave, they're like, he'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I ran back in the house, and he was walking out the door. So I ran back in the house, and I stopped right in front of him. He was like, oh, excuse me. I'm like, no. And I hugged him, and he's a little bit taller than me, man. And I just laid my head in his chest. And I said, I love you, man. And then I walked out. He was like, what is, I said, yeah. I realized I didn't hug you, man. So I came back in the house.
Wow.
To hug you.
Wow.
And I said, man, next year's your senior year. You'll graduate. And so my moments with you are limited now. And I just want to maximize every moment that I get to love you and hug you, man.
Come on.
Do you know the next day, he was in the bathroom when I was leaving. And I'm not going to
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sit down, bro. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just yelled up. I was like, peace out, Drew. I'm out, man. And he was like, Dad, I love you. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's
man.
Cool,
man. And see that right there blesses my soul, because you don't know how far that goes, how much that's a deterrent to other things that could be coming at him during the day. A father's love, a mother's love, but there's nothing like a father's love, that when you feel that love, because that's the thing that we get from the Father, right? So when you feel that love emanate, it supercharges you. I told that to my wife, like my mama told me she's proud of me. Recently when she met my dad, I was nervous. I was like, oh gosh, my dad don't like no woman. He don't get down like that, and my dad looked at me when we was leaving a picnic, and it was such a blessing. I almost cried saying it. And he said, that's a good woman. And I was like, and she know Joy, because she like she know how bad she is. She know she confident.
Yeah.
She like, I know I'm good,
Right.
I said, no, you don't understand. My dad don't give any person a compliment of that.
Yeah.
I've brought women before him many times, and he's just like, whatever. And I said, but my dad saying he's proud of me, my dad saying those words, that to me hit differently than anything someone else can say. So,
Bro.
that's
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Good stuff. So, Lolly.
Hi.
Hello.
What are your thoughts?
Nice to see you, Jay.
Nice to see you as well.
Yeah, you and that lovely wife of yours. You guys were great guests. Made me so happy that day. It was just a joy in the morning kind of moment. So
that's what we want. That's what we want all the time.
Totally great. If I could just say something about what you two were talking about, and I'm gonna try not to cry because I'm a big crybaby. But what I would like to say is I love that you're spreading that message. It is so important. But one thing that I say to a lot of young people that worry, because being a parent is such a big responsibility, and they worry about how they do it. But I think if you can just convey love, they don't need money, they don't need toys. I promise you, they don't. All they want is your time and your love. That's all they want. And so if you can do that, and you can apologize when you mess up, and they can feel you that you're sorry and that you love them, that's everything. That's everything.
My children's greatest memories are the moments, and they don't even know this, are the moments when we had the least amount in the bank. That's when they walk through their fun times, and I just sit back and laugh and rejoice in my heart, like they don't even know. Realize. Yeah. And we talk. We are very open with our finances with our kids, just so they can learn. But the moments when they've had their greatest memories are the moments when we've had the least amount.
Oh, and Jay, I'm gonna give you just private advice. When you have kids, right?
Yes.
And you and your wife are going, you know what? We're going to go to Hawaii, or we're going to go wherever we're going. And you know what? We're taking the kids. Don't take the kids. Don't take the kids. I'm going to tell you why. I've taken my kids everywhere. And when I'll say to them, remember when I took you? And I'm thinking, and the trip was a nightmare. It's like diapers and naps and all this stuff. Right? And I was like, remember when I took you? And they're like, no, I don't remember that. Don't take the kids. Wait till they're about 10. Anyway.
Lolly, you know what I do? I don't even bring them back anything. When my wife and I go on a trip, they're like, "What you bring us back?" I say, "A healthy marriage."
Healthy. Hey, that's it.
Right? Happy parents that are gonna love you. And
that's it. That's it. I love it.
But you asked about my Valentine's Day, and I have to say my Valentine's Day is amazing every year. I am married to a man like you two, which I can't be happier. He treats me like it's Valentine's Day every day. Only on Valentine's Day, he went all out. He stays home from work, takes a vacation.
Wow.
He proposed on Valentine's Day. We go to this beautiful restaurant on the beach with the sun. I have the storybook Valentine's Day.
Okay. Well, my wife will listen to this now. Don't get too excited. Look, I can't keep up with all that right now.
No, you can't, because you are so right. Don't give them the boat year one. We're talking flowers and lots of love and foot rubs and cool stuff like that.
Foot rubs. That's it. I love it. Nah.
So good. Hey, wait. Come back.
Oh, she jumped off quick.
I wanted to ask you. So, who's on Good Morning Soapstone tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to have Gail Benning, and I'm kind of excied because Ace the Bass is going to be my co-host tomorrow, and that's going to be so much fun, right? And Gail is, a pretty detailed builder. So me, I'm over here. Pretty colors, great, Gail. But Ace will be able to, talk through his incredible amount of talent. So that's going to be a good show tomorrow for all of you people who are interested in that in-depth fun building stuff. So that's tomorrow. Are we going to talk more about the other stuff later, or do you want me to?
No, let's talk about it now.
Okay, so our featured show this week is the Sound Check, which is the karaoke show we have at 2 p.m. Eastern on Fridays, and that is hosted by Zell Rayner and Sturminator, and they do a fantastic job. And lately these two have been on the mark, really out there advertising, creating posters and stuff and putting them out there on social media. And don't let anybody tell you that doesn't matter, because they took a show that was brand new with 5 people in it, and now it's a full instance and spilling into another. And I'm sure it's because they show them a great time when they're there, but they also let them know that it's there. So it's a good one. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's what's happening.
So good. So good. Awesome sauce.
Awesome,
Well,
man.
Just so good, bro. It's every time you and I get to hang out, bro. It's always good. We got to do this in real life soon.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. I love just love the fact that we got a chance to just chat. And that's what I love about this podcast, man. So y'all make sure y'all subscribing and liking and commenting and keeping it in the algorithm. But that's what I like the most, when I get a chance to tune in. I be busy a lot of times, but when I do get a chance to tune in, especially live, I just love hearing you and Aaron just speak about life and how that can still, it's all about creating that metaverse. You know, it's the trick of the word. It's all about being, the whole piece of it all, because a happy person outside the headset is also a happy person inside the headset.
Come on, sir.
That's I ain't gonna. I mean, I'm gonna do my benediction. May the Lord watch between me. I'm done. But nah, man, I really enjoyed it, and just shout out to the entire Metaverse community, of course, the Soapstone community, and everyone, and just having me be a part of this. I love it.
No doubt. And make sure y'all tune in tomorrow with Johnny Pizza and Lake UD up in the piece. So absolutely. And Mama Bree is in the building.
Mama Bree.
Let's go. So yeah, man, the biggest takeaway, man, that I want everybody to take away, if I look at our entire message that we've talked about here today, is, man, yes, in the midst of us loving the metaverse, in the midst of us engaging in this dynamic, cutting edge technology and community, make sure you take time to love those who are close to you, those who share that family word, whether that's extended family.
Love the full house. Love the full house. I'm the full house. That's the word. I love it, man.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
All right. Peace.